I have no idea if there are a lot of people just staring at me right now because I can't seem to see if anyone. Oh, there you are. For a while, I was just sitting here wondering if many people were staring at me because I didn't know where it would like indicate on the screen if someone was watching. But it does come on. It's a weird thing. I guess you're. Do people like wait for a while until people show up? Oh, I guess they just do something. Well, I was thinking about this that I could just sit here for 10 minutes and not say anything and it would be equally valid given the topic. Cuz what I was going to talk about was spaciousness or silence and inner peace as they pertain to the coronavirus. There's a lot of space all of a sudden. There's a lot of time to oneself, not doing very much, which is very unusual for many of us, myself included. And I've been thinking a lot about how that kind of symbolizes things that usually are going on inside us, but now we're able to see them outside. It's funny because my like roommate over here is watching on the screen rather than just being here physically. Um, yeah, I'm someone who meditates a lot, and so I'm used to the experience of cultivating a quiet space, and within that space, I watch my own emotions and thoughts bubble up and then disappear. And one thing that's unique about this time is suddenly that space is all around us. Usually it's something that we have to try really hard to artificially create in our lives, like a little bastion against the chaos that's all around it. And right now, space, silence, aloneness are kind of the norm. So that's new for many of us. And when I said at first that I was like, I could say nothing and it would be the same effect, it's because the silence, I feel, is the message of this time. The silence is kind of what we are supposed to get from what's happening right now. The silence and the distance from one another, which enables a kind of deeper intimacy with oneself that we normally don't have, or we haven't had in this society for a long time. Hola Marci, ¿cómo estás? It's fun to see people comment. Also, as I talk about this, if you want to like type any reactions you're having, that would be fun and I could address them. I don't know how long I'm going to do it either. But yeah, I've been thinking about that spaciousness and how it helps us really be intimate with a deeper part of the self than we normally access in this society, which I think of as the soul. It is that absolutely quiet plane that exists within all of us. And our society as a whole right now is contending with that or facing that. And when this happens, whatever aspects of our personality had not yet been confronted or faced, they come up, and it's in a really acute way because again, there's space, there's silence. So we face it head on. And that's been happening for me as well. So I've had experiences of embarrassment or jealousy or insecurity in this time. And I think a lot of the fear that other people are experiencing is a symptom of the same thing. It's a desire to preserve oneself from something. And that too is showing up in a lot of different ways. I've been thinking about all the different ways that this fear can be expressed and how they all really boil down to the same fear. So, in the early days of this, there was this kind of panic to go shopping really quickly and buy and I'm just gonna like wave at every person who shows up. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. I feel like someone from a different generation using this because it feels so foreign to me. There's too much going on the screen in my estimation. Yeah, at first there was, this need to. What's up, Xiang? At first there was this need to buy a lot of produce to protect oneself from what was coming. And for some people, there was a judgment of that. I'm included in that. I was like, I'm not going to be one of those people who's stocking up like mad. I'm going to, live my life with more sanity than that, which is only another form of protecting myself from something. So that's another kind of fear. It's like, I have to be different from those people. I have to be more rational. The fear is that I'm going to fall into some kind of mass panic, that I'll merge with the crowd. The fear of infection is similar. I've had the experience of walking down the street recently and wanting to, maintain a 6-foot distance from the person beside me because who knows, they might have it and I might catch it and then I'll be one of them. I'll be one of the sick people. And so within the silence that we have, within this overwhelming peace, emotions like this can emerge and be really salient. And this fear of infection or contagion seems to be the dominant metaphors. Ashley says, fear is the culprit of the behaviors. If only the fear can allow us to lean on one another instead. I think that's happening a lot, actually, and I think it's really beautiful to see. A lot of the behaviors I'm seeing on social media right now are really inspiring to me. And usually I tend to do stuff like this in a more like calculated way where I'm really thinking about and curating what I'm going to say. And today, inspired by other people, I was like, what the heck? I'll just do this informal thing. So, that's one way I'm being moved similarly. But really, what I wanted to communicate in this is that even as these fears and judgments of self and others, or maybe we experience doubt about what we're doing since society is suddenly so turbulent, as all of these things come up, we're also seeing that they exist in this container of silence, this abundance of silence that we're suddenly confronted with. And that is the essence of life. There's this silence in every moment. And it's also ultimately what connects all of us. This quiet part of us that is absolutely the same from person to person. And so I feel the longer this continues, the more forceful a demonstration it will be of that sameness. So something I've been thinking about is how even if we fall into those moments of panic where we're like, I have to go shopping, I can't shake this person's hand, I have to warn someone else from traveling or something, that we feel would expose them. Our having that impulse at all demonstrates the unity between ourselves and other people. It's this like quiet knowing I'm not immune from this. I'm a member of the herd, I'm a member of the pack. And so I need to act in the best interest of the whole. Um, it's like being moved by our bodies, by our souls, rather than our minds, which I feel is going to happen more and more as this continues. So it's a very transformative thing. Um, it's a very transformative thing, even as it's scary. So I don't know if I wanted to say anything else, but that was my first Facebook Live experiment. Thanks for tuning in.